Well, this morning, kids across the metro are heading back to class. The return from winter break comes as officials say we're in the middle of the most intense winter virus season in more than a decade.
Atlanta News First Niamani Watson is live outside Mary Lynn Elementary in Candler Park. Niamani, good morning. School districts and doctors are urging people to take precautions.
That's right. Good morning. During the last week of December, there were more than 500 hospitalizations and 7 deaths related to the flu. And as kids head back to school starting today, flu cases are expected to continue to rise. Now, school districts like Fulton County say they are working closely with health officials to monitor, report, and manage respiratory illnesses and outbreaks. Meanwhile, pharmacies across the state are seeing a steady stream of patients seeking relief from fever, congestion, and body aches. Hospital systems also seeing flu tests come back, more flu tests come back positive compared to the same time last year. Because of the rising cases, Northeast Georgia Health System now requires staff to wear masks indoors, and they reported 73 flu patients hospitalized as of this week. Health officials say a new strain and lower vaccination rates are leading to more flu hospitalizations,
especially in those that are elderly or those who have other chronic medical conditions or those who are not vaccinated. I think it's very important that while we're reading reports that the vaccine is not a perfect match, it still offers partial protection.
Health officials urge anyone 6 months and older to get the flu shot. Also, if your child becomes sick or starts showing symptoms, it is recommended to have them stay home to prevent the spread of the virus. Live in Candler Park, I'm Niamani Watson, Atlanta News.